What's happening, folks? It's Live Open Mic. Thank you for checking out another video. I love a good plot twist in a story. Just when you think you've got everything figured out, you get a curveball thrown at you that totally changes how you see the story. Say what you will about M. Night Shyamalan, but the man built an entire career on plot twists like,
I see people. They don't know they're dead.
In this video, we're looking at some unexpected endings in virtual reality games. Storytelling in VR games can sometimes be a little lacking, but every once in a while a game comes along that totally throws you for a loop. This is your
Spoiler warning.
If you ever plan on playing any of these games yourself, I'll leave timestamps so you can skip ahead and maintain your purity. With that said, in no particular order, here's number 1. Number 1 is Journey to Elysium. This is a Greek mythology-based walking narrative puzzle game. In the very beginning, you're lured to the edge of a cliff by a mysterious voice and fall to your death. You wake up in purgatory, and the rest of the game is about trying to transition to the afterlife and reunite with your lost love. Things take a turn in the final act when you learn that Melinoe, the daughter of the Greek god Hades, king of the underworld, not only orchestrated your death, but also the deaths of the woman you love that you've been trying to reach and your unborn child. After defeating her, Hades thanks you for stopping his daughter who is planning to overthrow him. However, because he's still a dad, he refuses to let you cross over to the afterlife and instead leaves you to traffic lost souls from purgatory to the underworld. Fans of Greek mythology will recognize this as the origin story of Charon, the ferryman of Tartarus who you've been playing as all along. Frankly, it's a real gut punch of an ending, but what else would you expect from the king of the underworld? On to number 2. Number 2 is Defector. There are actually 2 endings to this insane spy thriller. You spend the entire game globetrotting through missions to gather pieces for a MacGuffin of a device. During this, you learn that the agency has a double agent codenamed X. In the 4th mission, you learn that X is one of your training agents, a guy named Garrett. In the first ending, you find Garrett on top of the Statue of Liberty using the fully assembled device to apparently call some aliens. After defeating Garrett and debriefing with your supervisor, you get into a car and your partner, who has been on comms with you the entire game, says this.
Okay. Now, where to, X?
What? Garrett wasn't the traitor. You are. You've been the bad guy the entire game. You then kill your partner, reactivate the device, and the game ends. In the second ending, you decide to defuse the device, and in the process, the radiation exposure gives you superpowers, but now you're dying. In another debrief scene, your supervisor thanks you for your service, then drops you into a lower chamber to be cryogenically frozen. Your defrost is several decades into the future, where apparently your services are needed again. Both endings are totally bonkers, and I didn't see either one coming. Next up. Number 3, Torn. You play as a freelance reporter exploring what appears to be an abandoned mansion. You quickly encounter the flashing light that's actually a doctor trapped in a different dimension. The doctor equips you with a gravity gun you use to absolutely destroy his house while rebuilding circuitry in every room. The circuitry is powering a massive device that will allow the doctor to cross back into our reality and recover his missing wife, who was also lost in the other dimension. I figured out part of this one about midway through, but not all of it. At the end of the game, when you reactivate the full machine, you wake up strapped to a gurney. It's here that you find out that the doctor you've been helping is actually a police officer using the machine to hack your mind. Why? Because it wasn't his wife that's missing, it's actually your wife. She died in the vehicle accident that you were responsible for, and you covered up her death. The officer was using the machine to access your memories to confirm your crime. What? Months later, I still think about this one. Number 4. Number 4 is Phantom Covert Ops. This unique spy game takes place entirely in a kayak. You play as an operative, Phantom 01, whose job is to break into a flooded Russian base to defuse a terrorist nuclear threat and save the world. The mission is a joint effort between America, Russia, and the UK. You're not alone in this mission though. There's a Russian agent on the inside named Leon. Leon gets you back up and running after almost dying from a helicopter crash and assists you for the rest of the game, including giving you a grenade launcher. After you finish the game and the credits roll, there's a bonus scene, a phone call between the commanders in Russia and the US. In that phone call, you find out that the guy that was helping you all along was not Leon. Leon was killed a week before your mission started. Your helper was a double agent there to steal the nuclear weapon for his terrorist group. It felt like a turn ripped straight from the first Metal Gear Solid game. I loved it. Last but not least, number 5 is the most recent game on this list, Red Matter 2. Explaining the first game will require a whole other video. Just know that you're an astronaut named Sasha whose brain was hacked, that sounds familiar, and you saved yourself by forcing your mind into the body of your brain hacker before your body gave out. In this sequel, which picks up seconds after the first game ended, you travel to a deserted space station after receiving a distress call from one of your crewmates. While exploring the station and encountering the mysterious red matter substance, the red matter forms into a ball of goo that you can faintly make out the shadow of a person inside. This goo gives you a weapon to use for the rest of the game. I assumed at this point the person inside was my missing teammate, but no. You find him dead at the end of the game, surrounded by red matter that it turns out is the body of his dead lover. He leaves you a note to destroy the red matter and prevent it from ending up in government hands. The red matter then creates a bomb trigger for you and you blow up the station. Then you wake up, inside the red matter, looking at yourself from earlier in the game about to receive the gun. It was you inside the red matter all along. I love a good time travel story, and ending on this note had me theorizing about how it all makes sense long after the credits rolled. So there you go, 5 mind-bending endings to VR games. What do you think of this list? Was there a game you think I missed? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments, and if there are enough additions, maybe I'll make another video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you for the next one.